In this video, I want to deliver to you the two most bold promises of Eastern spirituality: freedom from all suffering and the attainment of a permanent joy and bliss. So let's start with the first one. We suffer because we don't really know who we are, because we are identifying with the seen rather than the seer, the objects of awareness instead of that pure awareness itself. And when we are identifying with the objects of awareness out of self-ignorance, we are projecting selfhood outward onto the body, onto the material world, and onto subtle objects such as thoughts and mental concepts. And then when those things change or inevitably perish, then we suffer. So suffering is really identity loss. And so when we can shift identity from identifying with the objects of awareness to identifying with the subjective seer, that choiceless, fully expanded consciousness itself, which can never be touched, which is changeless, and which is the source of all bliss, joy, and contentment, then there is no suffering. There may still be pain and loss, but you can have joy in the midst of sorrow when you are identifying with being the formless, silent self on the subjective side of all experience. So ask yourself this: what is that highest level of pure subjectivity for which everything else is an object? And yes, it's true that joy, bliss, and contentment are your own qualities and not dependent on the objects of the senses. But ask yourself this: can you know your own self-born qualities without the world, without the objects of awareness? These are inseparable. Like jewelry, like ornaments, are not truly separate from gold. What we call a bracelet or a necklace or an earring are just the forms of gold, but in reality only gold exists. So too, only consciousness exists. And wherever there is consciousness, there is bliss, ānanda. So the whole world is reflecting your own bliss back to you. Wherever there is consciousness, there is bliss. So the world is reflecting your own bliss back to you. And without the world, we cannot even know that we exist. Like in deep sleep. In deep sleep, you are still there. Consciousness is still there, but it has no experiences, or rather, it's the experience of no experiences. But the world gives us the opportunity to have self-experience. The world gives us the opportunity to have self-knowledge. And when the mind becomes silent and still, then it reflects the light of consciousness back upon itself. The same mind which was an obstacle when disturbed and extroverted becomes the very means for self-knowledge when it is still and silent and introverted. And so there is no separation, not two, non-dual. There is only one consciousness experiencing itself everywhere. And this is why we need to practice. So this whole process of becoming established in this knowledge all the time has 3 steps. Number 1, we need to hear these teachings. We need satsang. We need to read. We need to expose ourselves to these teachings from authentic traditions such as Vedanta, Kashmiri Shaivism, yoga, Buddhism, etc. Hearing the teachings. Then we need to contemplate them on our own to remove all doubt. And then we need to dwell on this knowledge through silent meditation for some period of time until this awareness dominates your awareness all the time. And for this aim, I've created what I consider to be the most powerful course that I've ever made so far, called Embodying Shivahood. Permanent joy and bliss through self-knowledge, in which not only do we achieve those 2 aims of Eastern spirituality: freedom from all suffering and permanent joy and bliss. But the third promise, which is unique to Tantra, is you become an embodiment of the divine. And in this case, you become an embodiment of Lord Shiva through self-knowledge. So I want to invite you to come join me for this very unique training that is starting this Saturday, November 8th. And it's being recorded for you and archived. So if you can't join one of the classes, then you can still benefit from this training. Or if you heard this video a little bit late, you can still sign up and you can still come join me. I look forward to seeing you there live on Zoom every Saturday of this month of November. With great love and great respect, I welcome you with all my heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.